Hi everyone, it's our team call from Fit and Fabulous. It's the 16th of January, halfway through. So today the lovely Raven has agreed to come and share what she does for planning and meal prep. So she's an absolute machine when it comes to planning and meal prep. And I definitely I've learned so much from her in the past year with what she does, and I aspire to be how organized she is, especially with a very hungry 6 kids and a husband. So I thought, she's done some amazing posts in our groups before about planning a meal prep and kind of how that's helped her and that sort of stuff. So I thought it would be really awesome to hear what she has to say. So I think we're going to start with planning first, because you've got to plan the food before you make the food, right? So hi Helen. So we are going to talk about that first of all. So I'm going to pass over to you, Raven, and then if anyone's got any questions, either unmute yourself or drop the questions in the group chat, and I'll make sure I direct them. So I'm going to mute myself so there's no feedback or anything, and I'll pass it to you, Raven.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me. So meal planning hasn't always been my thing. It's something that's grown with the family, and there being so many of us, and it just being busy, it just becomes something that we ended up having to do. And then we ended up just falling into this pattern, which has worked because we do have to be organized, because there is a lot of us. So I'm not a certified nutritionist, and I'm not a certified personal trainer, so I can't give in-depth information like that. But what I can do is tell you what's working for us as a family, tell you what's working for me, and how it's helped me to lose 2 stone so far. And a little bit about my relationship with food. It has been a love-hate relationship, constantly. In 2016, I already had 6 children, and I had been married for 15 years. We were super happy married, and food had become this massive thing in our life. Everybody enjoyed food. We loved the big roast Sunday dinners with all the gravy and all the trimmings. And with that also come a big weight gain. And then I started to feel not so good in myself, and sick, and I was just fat. And it was just starting to take over everything that I was doing. So in 2017, I had almost reached 13 stone. And it was time that I needed to do something about it. So I joined a club, like lots of us have, and I went there weekly, and I weighed in, and I listened to everybody telling their inspirational stories about how they were losing weight, and it was fantastic, and I wanted to be that. So I stuck to this plan, and I really went for it, and I was losing weight. I lost 1 stone, and I was so happy with myself. But even though I had lost the weight, I was still feeling sick. I was still feeling tired. I didn't have any energy. And I just couldn't work out why I didn't have any energy. I was doing everything I was told. I was only having 1 chocolate bar a day. I was only having maybe a packet of crisps. I was drinking all the zero drinks. I was losing the weight. The plan was working, but I was feeling sick and tired, and my skin was just not healthy. And then it was around that time I decided I was going to go into clinical hypnotherapy. And this is when meal prepping actually really started to kick in, because we were super busy. Because I had to meal prep, I actually started looking at the foods that we were eating. And then all of a sudden I realized that sugar-free drinks didn't really equal healthy. They didn't make it okay just because it was sugar-free, and the amount of chemicals and the crap that was in it. And I was just a bit surprised and shocked and sad that that's what I had been feeding my family. So that's when I decided to change, and I started looking for something else to do. And lo and behold, in a box that I had bought years ago, that was left sitting there that I had planned to do was T25. Pulled that out, put that in, and started to get some really good results with T25. Still didn't do the nutrition, but enjoyed it. Moved on from that and decided I was going to jump in and get my first challenge pack, which was Core de Force. And that came with a meal plan. I got the containers and I decided that I would start using it and start trying it. And it was so simple. It was so easy. I just have not gone back since. And now meal prepping has become a part of our life, not just mine, the kids as well. They do it for their school lunches. And that's really how we ended up where we are today and starting the meal prep. So moving into meal prepping itself, what Hannah was saying was right. At the beginning of every week, I sit down and I work out exactly what meal plans we're going to have, what we're going to have for breakfast, what we're going to have for a snack, then lunch, then a snack, and then dinner. And I have to write all of that down, and then I have to individually see what that is. So my youngest girl is 9, and then my oldest boy living at home is 18. He's 6'3", so he needs a lot more food than my 9-year-old. But because we're such a large family, I don't cook individual meals for everybody. We all eat the same, which is where Beachbody was absolutely fantastic in helping me to work this out, because we have the container system. It's so easy to look in there and see, okay, so my 18-year-old who's doing T20 as well, this is how many containers he has. My 9-year-old girl, she needs one more container than I have because of her metabolism. And the way that we do it is I go and shop. I do everything in Asda, well, mostly everything in Asda, and I've built up shopping lists in which everything goes in. And then at the end of the week, I sit with my little shopping list and I can tick off what I need and put it straight into my basket. That all comes, and on the day that that comes, then I meal prep. So I cook the meat and I put them into 3-litre containers. Let me show you. So this size container, and I fill these with cucumbers, carrots, lettuce. I have the little ones. And for this, I put in like sweet corn and onions, all the little things like that. And then I try to have 3 different proteins every couple of days. So I just keep refilling that. And with the protein, so that could be like chicken, ham, cottage cheese, pork. And I have a big chest freezer. I have a fridge freezer, and I have a smaller fridge where everything goes into. And then just in the evening, when everybody's had their dinner, it's all tidied up, they all go out like a buffet style on the side of the kitchen counter. All the kids then go, depending on what they're having, they get their tubs. So it's this one, and the boys have this one. And we have a little chart on the kitchen wall, and it has what color containers they need to put their lunch in. And so, in style, like a round robin, they all go down, they pick up their containers, they know they might have to have 2 proteins and then a veg, and they fill all that up, they put their lid on, they take it over to the little fridge, which is in there with their drinks, and they have a little cheese in there. They sometimes have a hobnob bar that goes with that. That all goes in there, so they are fully prepared to go to school in the afternoon. Then in the evening, what normally happens is every couple of days, all the bits that are left over, I chuck it into the slow cooker. I love to just try new things. Whatever's left gets mixed. We make a really nice gravy or a really nice sauce, chuck in some potatoes, and then use it up. And then we do that every couple of days. So that's the main meal prep of the week. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
yeah.
Oh my God, like, I just love that you've got you've got them all going and getting their lunches. That must be quite cool though, because it involves them in it as well, and it's like a fun little activity that you can, like, so they're kind of, you know, you're doing it, but they're doing it together, and it's teaching them about good nutrition and healthy, balanced meals, and like that's incredible. That's amazing. I mean,
and the thing is, I didn't know that till I started Beachbody, how to balance it out, what a plate of food should look like, what individually should be on there. And I think it's really good, because even my 9-year-old little girl now knows what a plate of food should look like for her. And it's balanced and it's healthy, and she's getting everything that she needs as well.
I'd love to have 3 fridge freezers, but I suppose, what would be your tips for people that maybe don't have as much fridge space in terms of meal prepping and, you know, being able to cook up things in batches?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to have the same meals. Don't be afraid to repeat the same meals. So if you're going to bulk buy chicken, don't be afraid to have chicken 3 or 4 times a week. You can chop and change it by preparing it, and what's left over, you're going to have lots of different meals anyway. So even though we all have access to the same food, they rejig it so they can have specific for them what they like. And so that's the same for everybody. You can buy just little individual pieces in a small space and just mix and match it. And definitely sauces.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember you doing that with sauces, so you don't have to all be eating the same. If one kid doesn't like it, they can have a different sauce. And
yeah, like I have one boy who won't eat eggs. He just refuses anything with eggs in it. But I'm still going to make the eggs, because in our house it's like it's put in front of you, you're going to eat it.
Yeah, Lila needs to learn that. You'll get that. That's really cool. So a couple of things that I've picked up from what you've said already. So you read the food labels. So I think that that's something that people always get a bit freaked out about. And becoming a bit of a food investigator, I think. You know, I mean, on the plan, so people always say to me, oh, I've got a list of foods here, but what about I want to eat, you know, this bar or whatever. And one of the great tips, you know, I think reading the food labels is really good. And I remember someone saying, and I don't remember where I heard this years and years ago, that if it's got more than 5 ingredients, then, you know, what's in it. And the other thing is, can you pronounce all of the ingredients in that food? If the answer is no to both of those, so if it's got more than 5 ingredients and you can't pronounce a load of stuff in it, chances are it's probably not very good for your body. Little bit, okay, fair enough. We all, you know, of course, you know, treating yourself is absolutely fine, but thinking about, you're right, like all these 0-calorie drinks, yeah, I mean, I must admit, if I now have a fizzy drink, I'll have full fat Coke, because I think, well, it's not good anyway. It's a treat. Yeah. It's probably a little bit less. It's not probably actually as terrible as the sugar-free one, because it's got all those additional sweeteners in, and then what sweeteners do to your blood sugar. And
yeah, we don't have fizzy drinks or dilute in the house anymore. Yeah.
That's cool. And you were also saying about online shops. I think online shops are definitely the way to go. And so many of them now, you can go and try different places and get discounts for a start, can't you? But actually, once you find the one that you're enjoying, you can then, you know, it has all your favourites in the shopping basket. It now takes me I would say, to do my online food shop, it takes me 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. And just because I pretty much, and I am a bit rubbish at always eating the same thing, so that's going to be my next question to you, is how do you keep it, you know, mixed up? But, you know, all the basics, my bananas, my milk, my, you know, the rices that I get, the chicken, it's all there, and I just add it, and it literally, and now I do it, I'm like, oh, I've done it. No, that can't be right. And I spend probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes doing it, and then the other 5 minutes going, I know, I can't have surely done it. So yeah, I think it saves time as well, doesn't it? And you haven't got to go to the shop, right, with a load of kids.
That's it, yeah. Well, it still takes me about an hour.
Well, you've got 6 of them. You've got
And I really like to look for the deals as well. I like the buy two get one free, especially on the meats. I love getting my chicken in bulk from Muscle Food.
Yeah,
because I've found their chicken is fantastic, and one breast will do my 2 littlest one meal. That's really good. And their prawns are fantastic from Muscle Food as well, but you do have to eat them on the same day because they don't come frozen like they should, so you're better off eating them on the same day.
Do you know what? Someone else told me about Muscle Foods actually, and if you're going to bulk buy, just make sure you've got space in your freezer, and so no, that's a really good tip. So I asked a question and I can't remember what it was now. Oh yeah, mixing it up. How do you keep it varied so you don't get bored of eating the same food?
Blogs, other people's blogs. I love scrolling and finding foods that just are a little bit different. So there's one I absolutely love called Sweet Peas and Saffron. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Mm-hmm. And they have some fantastic meals on there. I use that one all the time. Also, we've got the Beachbody blog, To Be Mindset. The Fix8 cooking show is fantastic. If you haven't checked out the Fix8 cooking show yet, you need to get in there and have a look because they have some fantastic recipes on there.
One thing about that I would also suggest, because one of the things that I struggled with that at first was that there's just so many recipes and it's all like just the names of things. I'm a very visual person. I have to see things. Go into the materials, download the whole cookbook, and then you can see some of the food. I've got the cookbook, so actually that's what I bought the cookbook, because I was like, I like to look at something. But if you need inspo, definitely download it, have a look at what the meal actually looks like, because some of the things I didn't know what they were because they're American. So yeah, definitely. Sorry, keep going.
And type in the program that you're doing as well. If you just type in the program that you're doing in Google, so much will come up about meals and what everybody else is doing. There is so much to choose from. And it came... Yeah. And in all of our books, it's just been laid out so simply. So it even tells you how many containers, if you're doing the portion fix, that you can have. Yeah. In there, it even gives you the list of the healthy fats, the proteins, the carbs. So check out the resources, because you can download this too, and go through that, and you can just mix and match. And especially if you have it already on hand, then you don't have to be eating the same thing over and over.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fab. Any other top tips?
Everything in season is cheaper than trying to buy things out of season. And it's better for you as well, because it's growing this time of year. And so it's what our body needs at this time of year. So definitely trying to eat in season. Eat local if possible. If you have a farmer's market, definitely shop at the farmer's market, because that's just going to really boost your immune system as well. That's it. Yeah, really.
And how do you keep, it must be really expensive buying all this food for such a big family. How do you keep costs down? So you mentioned like you get the buy two get third free, so you look for the offers.
Yeah. I would say our food bill is our biggest bill for the month. Definitely we grow lots in the summer, so we like to grow a lot of our own stuff in our garden. One day I am going to have a huge allotment and I'm going to grow everything, but definitely growing in the summer. Again, buying local. If you make friends with the person at the farmer's market, make friends on somebody with an allotment, and they always, at the end of the season, love to give stuff away that they can't stock themselves. That's always a great way to keep stuff down. Yeah. Also, as well, we're into bushcraft. Okay. So we like to go and do foraging. So we've been known to have Nell pizza. That's really nice. And it's really good. You know, it's like spinach. Yeah. So there's lots of ways, depending on how low you want to keep your budget. There's no excuses still not to eat fresh.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, that's it, isn't it? And I think actually in the UK, we're quite lucky. I think in the States, it's actually more expensive to buy from supermarkets than it is to go and get like a McDonald's and stuff, because it's crazy, isn't it, over there? But, you know, there are all sorts of ways, like bulk buying and, you know, although you've got the freezer problem potentially. I've got an extra freezer, and that before Beachbody, it just had things like ice and random stuff. Like, well, to be fair, for the last 7 years, one of my freezer drawers has had the top tier of my wedding cake. So it was quite nice reclaiming that back when Lila had her christening. But yeah, it's about kind of like planning, and often some weeks we don't buy meat we don't buy our protein because I've done like the 3 for 2 or the 3 for 10, and I've literally stocked my freezer in 1 week, so I know that I've got 2 weeks worth of food. Cool.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to go.
Yeah, so have you anything else you wanted to say, Raven? If not, I'll ask people if they've got any questions for us.
No, I think that was everything.
Cool. Anyone, any questions?
No, anyone? Oh, I'll tell you before you go, I did get for my birthday, this is a great one if you're looking for inspiration. Deliciously Ella. Her books are fantastic, and she has some amazing recipes in there. And I don't think Vic's on the call, but you should be able to get this from Vic.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Superfood book.
Yeah.
And in there, it has lots of information about lots of different superfoods. And that's such a handy little tool to have, especially if there's something that you can't pronounce. It's definitely a good one to look up and check, and remember, Google is your friend.
I do love a bit of Google.
Yeah.
Fab. Google is absolutely fab. I wanted to ask you a question about what you do with leftovers. So you say you just get it all and you chuck it in the slow cooker. What sort of thing will you tend to put on top of it? Because I definitely need some slow cooker recipes.
Now, I am definitely one for going out there. Sometimes I can't tell Gav what he's eating because he won't eat it. But literally, I chuck everything. So I can, if there's leftover sweet potato, if there's leftover chicken, leftover veg. I don't think I've put chopped in lettuce in the slow cooker before. But yeah, all the carrots and just chuck it in there. And then you just make a really nice gravy using whatever you've got around, and just mix it up, and you will find 9 times out of 10 it tastes lovely. But the only thing with that is you can never make it twice, because you just can't remember how you made it. Yeah. No, that also, makes frying them up into like little veggie burgers as well. You can pack them up into little vegetable burgers and make that, or just add it into soup. Yeah. So there's always ways to use the leftovers.
That's cool. I also know that we shared a couple of bits and pieces on one of our free nutrition groups once, so I'm going to go find them and I'm going to share them in our main page. But there was just like a few things about why we meal prep, and I think probably we've shared them in the group, but probably not for quite some time. But I also wonder, so because you then just chuck everything in one at the end, do you ever get any food waste from doing your meal prep?
We do, but it normally goes to the dog.
Okay.
So then it still doesn't get wasted. Yeah, but we don't eat anything that's going to be bad for him anyway. So yeah, so it never really goes in the bin as food. But what I would say is definitely don't keep anything longer than 3 to 4 days. Keep on top of the food hygiene, because you don't want to be ill at any point. So definitely write your dates on stuff. If you're putting stuff in the freezer, 100% write the date when you put it into the freezer and how long that's going to last. So then you know what you've got. And a food saver. I don't know if you've got a food saver. It's, you pull out the bag and you can make a bag and you can put sort of all your meats in there. You can even make a full slow cooker meal, and then you put it into the little machine. It sucks all the air out and it seals it for you. Then you write on it, stick it in your freezer, and then you've just got a meal. Take it out the night before, let it defrost, chuck it in the slow cooker, and it's done. And it's made from scratch, so you know that everything in there is healthy and fresh still.
That's a really good idea. I've never thought of doing that. You see, that's the sort of thing. So I sort of said to Nick, we need to be doing like our crock pot stuff once a week. But when I've got to be at work at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday or Thursday morning, they're the days that we really need to have a quick meal, because I just don't want to cook in the evening. Actually, I already get up at 5:15. I don't want to get up at 4:45 or 4:30 to be prepping veg to go into a slow cooker. So that's a really good idea. If you chuck it all in, then you can just make up the gravy or whatever the sauce that you're putting it on. And
I put the sauce in there too.
Yeah,
I just leave it so it marinates. It just freezes, and then I just let it defrost straight in the slow cooker. And it's really good if you take a day out. You could, because there's you, Nick, Lila, you could then take a day out and make, say, 7 or 8 full meals. So at least once a day, you just go to the freezer, you take it out, and it's ready to go, and just spend a full day doing it. We did that once and it took us all day, and I think we made 16 meals, but it took a full day.
It's good fun though, isn't it? I know it's a full day, but actually...
Yeah, it was so simple. Coming in, hot meal, dish it up.
Yeah, I need to do that. Oh, cool. Okay, well, thank you so much. Has anyone got any other questions for Raven? Well, I just want to say thank you, Raven. I know you were super nervous about doing this, and thank you for pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, because you have no reason to be nervous. And you speak so well, and you really articulate yourself, and you're amazing. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
You all to go to bed. It's 9 o'clock. It's not bedtime yet, not quite yet. But yeah, no, thank you so much, and we will see you next week. I cannot remember what we're doing next week. I will go and find out, and I will post it in the group. But have lovely evenings, everyone. Lovely to selfie. Hold on, I almost forgot. Hold on. Right. So you got to say cheese. Stay for free. Hold on. Right. Smile. Cheese. I'll send these to you, ladies. I'll post it in the group. We'll share those little resources as well. And let's keep sharing the recipes and things like that we're trying. I had amazing dinner tonight. I forgot to take my meat out of the fridge, so I had eggs on top of it instead of my protein. It was yummy.
Oh, nice.
So we did cauliflower, but actually it ended up more like a cauliflower mushroom stroganoff thing. It was lush.
Oh. That's sometimes how you find out the best meals.
Yeah, that's really good. Anyway, guys, take care. I love you all very, very much. It was lovely to see all your little shiny faces, and I'll speak to you later.
Bye.